The first thing that manifested was manifesting my boobs growing by a cup size. That was one of the things I wrote on the letter, which came true.
Which is insane.
In the last 13 months, I have multiplied the money that I have to my name by 100 times.
Hey guys, it's Annie, and I have a very special guest on today, Lucie England. You may know her around YouTube. She is a law of attraction manifestation pro. I know you love scripting videos. She is an expert on scripting, and what's cool is she has a completely different technique than the techniques that I've taught you. So I'm so excited for her to be on and share all of this with us today. So Lucie, hello, thank you for joining.
Thank you. Well, it's so magic being here and creating a collaboration video with you, because you are one of the channels that I've subscribed to for years. I feel like I'm sat here with your audience because I'm one of your audience. So it's a manifestation in itself to even be here doing this video with you, which is amazing. Just taking a moment to be grateful for that. But yeah, hi everyone. My name is Lucie England's Deuce, and I'm from London, England. So it's all connected. Anyway, I'm 27 years old. I'm an entrepreneur. I run several businesses now, and the law of attraction and manifestation has really played a massive part in my growth in business over the last few years. So on my channel, one of my most popular videos is about a scripting letter that I wrote, where within a 6-month period, every single thing on that letter came true. All of it ticked off the list.
I'm excited to hear all about it. So, like, where did it start? How did this all happen?
So, first of all, I'll just say that, you know, Annie mentioned that this technique that worked really well for me is slightly different to her scripting technique, which I'm sure you're all very familiar with, where she goes through how her mornings will feel in a scripting style, right? And, you know, just to share with all of you watching now that there is no one technique that's better than others, but there are different techniques which might be the one for you. And in the early days of Law of Attraction for me, maybe some people can relate, like, I believed in it, I'd heard so much proof from other people, but I hadn't really had my own success yet. And when I was at that point, I was experimenting with all sorts of different techniques. And I think that's important to figure out which of all these techniques that people recommend is the one where you're like, yeah, this one's helping me feel it. This one, I know it's like, it's clicked and I'm there and it's raising my vibration. And there'll be different techniques that do that for different people. So we're just sharing the menu today, and maybe this one is the one that really works for some of you. So taking you back then to what inspired me to write the letter in the first place. So I am a huge fan of Abraham Hicks. Have you heard of Abraham?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Absolutely love the Abraham videos. And one day, as I usually do, I was listening to some Abraham videos, and this guy was sort of brought up onto stage in the video to speak to Abraham. And Abraham is like, for those who don't know, Abraham is like a collection of divine entities, spiritual energies that channel through a woman called Esther Hicks. And so she'll like get into her state, and then these energies speak through her, which is so cool. So he went to her event, was chosen to speak on stage, and he told Abraham in that moment that he had done this thing about a year before, I think it was, where he wrote a thank you letter in advance, expecting to one day be able to meet Abraham in person and read that letter out to her after it had all manifested. So I don't know, I think he just like came up with the idea himself. It was just a nice little thing that he came up with to help him feel good. And to make it more exciting for him, this whole manifestation process. So he wrote a letter, he addressed the letter to Abraham, saying, "Dear Abraham, thank you so much." And then when he wrote the letter, he basically wrote down a number of things that he wanted to manifest. So I remember off the top of my head, one of the things he wanted to manifest was to have a really beautiful relationship, to find his soulmate. And what he decided to do was read this letter, the thank you letter with all these different things, every single day for at least 30 days. And this is the bit that all law of attraction techniques have in common. Every time he read the letter, he made sure to read it with feeling, with excitement, to feel the gratitude, which is one of the most powerful vibrations we can be on anyway. So every single day he was tapping in, he was using this letter to tap into feeling grateful in advance for all of these things that he wanted to attract into his life. And he had great success with it. That's basically the short version of his story, is that it worked, and there he was. It had all come true to the point where he had even manifested being able to speak face to face with Abraham and read the letter just like was his plan, right? So when I heard that, I was like, that sounds awesome. It also sounds very doable, and it just inspired something in me to go, why not? I'm gonna do it too. Sounds great, let's do it, you know? I was just in the mood, right place, right time. And so I wrote mine. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to read it twice a day, just because it might help.
Yeah.
I was like, if you can do it once a day, I can do it twice a day. Who knows, you know? So that was literally why I came up with that idea. So I also addressed mine to Abraham because I felt a connection to Abraham Hicks too. But what I say to people on my channel, and now sharing it with all of you guys, is that you don't have to write your letter to Abraham if you don't want to. I'd recommend writing your letter to whoever or whatever you feel some kind of connection to, spiritual connection to. For some people, they might address it to God or to Allah or to the universe or to their spirit guides or their guardian angels. Like, if you're writing your letter to a sort of something that's bigger than you and something where you feel like they're there for you or they're watching over you, or, you know, just some kind of connection, and whoever that is for each person is perfect, right? So that's thing number one. You can write it to whoever you want. You can even write it to Annie. Some of my subscribers have written their letters to me. I'm like, that's a lot of responsibility. But, you know, whoever you want. So the next line is thank you so much. And then take your pick of, I usually recommend like 4 or 5 different things that you want that are sort of like different areas in your life. So the first thing that I wrote on my letter was about money, because at the time of writing this, I barely had £500 in my account. So that's what, like $700 or something. And I perpetually only had that amount. Even if I would have more money come in, but I always ended up with that same amount in my account. So I knew there was something vibrational going on, like that I was at that level, you know, and I wanted to change my feeling about my relationship with money. So I unpacked it a little bit. I was like, how do I feel about money right now? And how do I want to feel about money? What would be a better way to feel about money? So at the time, my general feeling of money was a feeling of lack. And I would always get kind of anxiety when thinking about buying anything, whether it was like shopping for vegetables or buying myself some new clothes or paying a bill. I knew that that wasn't good, but I still had this old habit of, the first thought was anxiety and fear, and I shouldn't spend money because I don't have enough money. That was where I was at. So I thought, how do I want to feel about money? I want to be, this is my dream. It wasn't a set number. It was a set feeling. Like, I want to be able to feel excited about what to buy next. That's how I want to be. And whatever amount of money that is, doesn't really matter. I just want to be able to feel like I'm the kind of person who can fearlessly buy things and there's no fear about it, there's no lack about it. So this is really important. You write a sentence about the thing that you want to achieve and a second sentence underneath it about how it makes you feel. So to give a real life example, I wrote, "Dear Abraham and Esther, thank you so much. I now have more money in my account than ever before." New sentence. I love thinking about what I'm going to buy next. That's the sentence. So I now have more money in my account than ever before. And this feeling of looking forward to what I was going to buy next. And then with each other thing I wrote on my letter, it was the same kind of process. So a sentence about what's happened and how it makes me feel now that I've done it. So I wrote about all sorts of things, including like, the first thing that manifested was manifesting my boobs growing by a cup size. That was one of the things I wrote on the letter, which came true.
Which is insane.
I didn't, and see,
Like, that's
again,
wild.
like when we look at these success stories, you can actually then see these things that people tell you about in action. So like, I'm sure you've shared on your channel before things like, you know, don't be too desperate about it and like, don't feel really, really needy about it. When I wrote that thing about my boobs, I was just like, hey, if I'm writing one of these letters and it comes true, what else can I add? It was just like a little afterthought. I was like, may as well put in grow bigger boobs. Like, that would be a nice bonus. Do you know what I mean? That's why I wrote it. Just like, cool, why not? Let's see.
Amazing.
And so it wasn't like I had this, you know, burning, desperate desire, like I'm not going to be happy unless I have bigger boobs. I really, really want bigger boobs. I was just like, throw it in there while we're at it. And so the boobs manifestation actually triggered the whole thing off because I wrote the letter, read it out to myself, daytime, morning and night for 30 days. And then I genuinely just forgot about the letter after about 30 days. Okay, so again, people who are looking for like, how do you do it? It was actually accidental, but I think it's a perfect part of the process that after you've done it, like just let it go, forget about it, move on with your life, have fun and play. So a few months after I forgot about the letter, my fiance for Valentine's took me underwear shopping. And he was like, pick whatever you like, you know, my present. So I was going around, picked my usual cup size, went to the fitting room, and the lady said, excuse me, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but the bras you've chosen, I don't think they're gonna fit you. Just looking at you like this, have you had your breasts measured recently? And I was thinking, I've, again, forgotten about the letter, forgotten what I'd written at all. I was just like, okay, sure, yeah, measure me up. This always feels nice when somebody thinks your boobs are big. This is new. So, okay, measure me up. What do you need? She was like, no, you can keep your clothes on. She just like got her thing and she's an expert. You know, I didn't really know what she was doing. She was like, yeah, I was correct. All of these are going to be too small for you. Don't worry, you stay here. Great service. I'll go and get them in a bigger size for you, and I'm sure when you try these on, they're going to fit you much better. Oh, thank you very much. So tried them on. She was absolutely right. They all fitted brilliantly. Still hadn't pieced it together with the letter, by the way. The penny still hadn't dropped. Go home, put them away in my drawer. A few days go by, and then I'm sat there on the sofa, and then all of a sudden I was like, hold on. I've just got 3 new pairs of bras that are 32C. Did you not write 32C on that random letter that you wrote a few months ago? So then I run to the bedroom and I'm like looking for it. Where's it gone? And it had fallen down the side of my bedside table, and I found it and I looked at it and I read it and I was like, yes, this is the exact cup size. That it drew me to finding the letter again. And then when I looked at it, I realized that a number of the other things had already started to manifest. Some of them I could tick off as well. Other ones, they were well underway. So that was what brought me back to the letter to realize And within 6 months, it had all come true.
Wow, everything.
Yeah, everything.
Like you said, everything manifested. What was the most significant change that occurred from that list or that manifested from that list for you?
You know, I'm always striving for whole life success. And it always feels like if you're doing great financially, but everything else in your life is falling apart, it's not ideal. Or if you've got really great, you know, family situation, but you can't afford to put food on the table, it's also not optimal. So whole life success is definitely the aim for me. But like I said, at the time of writing the letter, the thing that I really had the most room for improvement, let's say, was the financial side to my situation. And I did some maths and I did some calculations just a couple of weeks ago. And I realized that in the last 13 months, I have multiplied the money that I have to my name by 100 times.
What?
Yeah. And that really was, from having been someone who that was like my area where I seemed to be stuck, and other areas of my life were growing and were flourishing, but that still seemed to be a sticking point for me for a long, long time. So I'm so grateful for the bigger boobs. I'm so grateful for, you know, some of the other things on the letter were things to do with the quality of people I was attracting into my life. Oh, a big one on the letter was that I wrote, my content is constantly going viral to an audience of positive, open-minded, and supportive people. And when I wrote that letter, I hadn't had a single thing ever go viral. So that in itself was a huge manifestation. And it was an important one to me as well, because I specified. I didn't just want my content to go viral for the wrong reasons or to a negative audience. You know, I wanted to feel like I was surrounded by even more positive people than ever before. So that's definitely up there as one of the major and most important manifestation things from the letter. But, you know, money isn't everything, but I think it's Zig Ziglar who says, money isn't everything, but it's kind of up there with oxygen, you know, like still pretty important.
So inspired, like I'm truly inspired by all of this. And I feel like I have a new spark for wanting to do scripting, because I actually have kind of taken a step back from it, because I'm like, I like where my life is right now. Like, I want to chill on this, but I really am inspired by this technique. So do you have any other little tips and tricks that you would recommend for anyone who is trying this out for the first time?
Yes. My biggest one is that it's important to write things down on your scripting letter where, yes, you want them, you'd love them to manifest, but they also fit in with, I was talking to you about this the other day, within your bubble of what you believe is possible for you at the moment, or what you believe is possible for you within the next 6 to 12 months. Like if you're writing things on there, but the majority of your brain is going like, I could never do that, or that just seems so impossible, then every time that you read the letter, that's probably going to be the dominant thought and vibration that keeps coming to you. It's about how you feel while you're doing all of these things. And so, yeah, make sure that it's within your belief bubble, I call it. There'll be like, and everyone's belief bubble is different. If you're having a real difficult time with money and you write on there like, I'm so grateful now that I'm a millionaire, and that just feels so foreign, and you really can't even picture yourself being a millionaire, or your logical mind starts to go, but how, then I wouldn't recommend putting millionaire on there. That's why I wrote, I have more, what did I say? It wasn't specific for me, because anything specific gave me anxiety at that point regarding money. So when I was like uncertain about what was possible for me financially, I just thought, well, I can safely write that I have more money in my bank account than ever before. That is something I want to happen. And when I write it and when I read it, there's no resistance coming. I feel like that's doable, you know? And it also has allowed you know, like as you say, this or more, this or better. And so the universe has really poured into that one over the last year. But yeah, so that's my biggest tip to anyone. And for some people, maybe being a millionaire is something within their belief bubble where they feel like, yeah, in the next 12 months, I could do it. So then it's appropriate to write it on your letter. So that's the place to come from when writing down these things. It's not about don't dream big. It's just about make sure it all feels good.
Yes, I completely agree with that. As you grow and as you manifest, what you believe and what you believe you're capable of grows and expands, which is awesome. And your bubble grows.
Exactly.
I love that. You're so inspiring.
Oh, thank you. That's a huge compliment coming from you. You're such a big inspiration to me.
So with that being said, how can they reach you? Where should they follow you? All of that good stuff. Any last words that you have for my audience?
Great. So yes, my YouTube, my Instagram, my TikTok is all called LifeByLucie, Lucie. And I'm sure you can, share a link or something. But yeah, YouTube is probably the best platform, or whatever people prefer really. One that we uploaded today on my channel is Annie sharing how she manifested her dream apartment. And we've got a couple of other super juicy collaborations in store about love and relationships and all of those good things as well. So make sure you're subscribed to both our channels and got the notifications on so that you see that one pop up when it comes.
Yes, please do. With that being said, thank you, Lucie, for joining. Again, check out our collaboration that we did on her channel, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye, guys.